Welcome to Whitney's World. I'm your host, Whitney Ward. Here we explore spirituality, mindset, and manifestation. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. Well, welcome back to another episode of Whitney's World podcast. I'm your host, Whitney Morgan Ward, and I am so thankful that you've tuned in wherever you're at on this planet. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, I am so excited. I have a very special guest. This is one of my very first special guests, but besides my older brother and a friend that I had on previously. But it's been over a year since I've had anyone on. People have been asking me when I'm going to have someone on. And I always said when it works out, it's going to work. And here we are. So guys, please welcome Kelly Gomez. She is the Queen of Airbnbs. She is also a speaker, a mindset coach, and she is now one of my very good friends. Hi, Kelly. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
For inviting me.
Of course.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad. I am just so thankful. We actually met through a mutual friend 2 weeks ago. So shout out to Aaron London for getting us connected.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. He messaged us on Instagram and was like, you two, you need to meet.
And
But
literally,
it
was like we connected and we had a conversation for like 2 hours
Yep.
on the phone, like instantly connected.
It was amazing. She's like, let's chat. And I was like, okay. And yeah, we were on the phone for 2 hours and we were just like immediately soul sisters. Everything that I was saying, she's like, I resonate. I get it. I've been going through the same thing.
Totally.
And it was just such a beautiful moment. I've been praying for friends like you. So
Aw.
thank you, God.
Likewise, no, for real,
Yeah.
yes. I feel like I've been also in a transitional stage
Okay.
of like changing circles, so
Yep.
it's a blessing
Yes.
to feel and connect with another soul that understands.
Yes, it's very interesting. There's more people waking up.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people that don't understand the spiritual journey. And it's so cool to actually be able to talk to someone about your like personal experience. And it makes sense. Like you can talk about the signs, you can talk about the synchronicities, universal laws, like what's actually happening here. And to have you understand is just like such a breath of fresh air. So tell me a little bit about your journey. How old are you? Where are you from? What do you do? What's your favorite color?
Let's get into it. So first of all, my full name is Kelly Diana Gomez Osorio, and I was born in Medellin, Colombia, 1997. I am currently 27 years old, turning 28 in about a week, February 5th. I'm an Aquarius.
Yes.
And my favorite color is teal. I love blues, but specifically teal. It reminds me to the ocean and the waves and the air, always flying in the nebulos.
Yes.
I came here when I was 19 years old to the United States 9 years ago, looking for the American dream, and I got into real estate a couple months after I came here. At the beginning, I actually didn't know any English, so before real estate, I started working cleaning offices and working at a restaurant as I was learning English and learning basically the whole culture and how to be here. I had the desire of becoming successful, the desire of achieving my dreams, which was I always imagined myself being on stages, helping people, kind of being like with lights and like moving, like leading. And since a very early age, when I was 4 years old, actually, I got my first experience on a stage. I modeled. And from that moment, I felt like that was my spot. So always kind of being like on the spot, either speaking or singing or doing acrobatics, things like that. Always grew up very close to sports as well. And an interesting point was I graduated from a nuns school when I was 16 years old.
From what school?
Nuns school, Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Nuns.
Nun,
yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Guess what? Yes. And so
Wow.
I was like one of the wild ones with
I could see it.
like always kind of creating a little trouble. Like I was good at school, I will always get good grades,
Yeah.
but I will make some trouble. And
Wow.
and they're
Did
like,
you have to wear the actual outfit?
Oh my God, yes. So it was
Really?
like a long dress. They were very strict. They will measure us that the skirt had to be 4 fingers above the knee. And then it was like a full dress on, like jumper. And
Wow.
then a long sleeve white shirt all the way to here, like buttons up all the way up with like
Ty?
a tie in it, and
Oh
then
my
long
gosh.
socks to the knee, and like perfectly brushed shoes. So you
No
have to
way.
do like shiny thing. So like the whole, I was kind of like a soldier.
Wow. Did you have to wear the hat?
No, thank God, not
Okay.
that one.
Why?
But they used to, at the same school, they used to back like, I don't know, 100 years ago. So I'm just like a pretty old school.
Okay.
So through the time they got more flexible, I guess,
Okay.
you know. Like it was
Wow.
not a school for people. It was not like to become a nun. It was just like a high school,
Okay.
but a Catholic high school.
That's crazy.
So like most of our teachers were actually normal teachers, but
Okay.
some of them were nuns as well. And mainly
Interesting.
like the directors, like all of the like administration,
Yeah.
all the hierarchy, let's say, was nuns. And
Wow.
then one pastor.
Okay.
And we had
Interesting.
2 churches inside the school.
Okay. So you did that was all 4 years of high school.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Actually, we had two, like high school. Well, you guys, as a school here is divided in three, right?
Mhm.
Middle, elementary, middle, and
Element.
high school.
Mhm.
For me, it was just two,
Okay.
primary and secondary.
Okay.
So the primary, I did it at a public school, boys and girls, and then secondary, I did it at this Catholic school, only girls.
Wow.
So it was very strict, and it was always like very like, oh, you have to like cover yourself and like be kind of perfect looking,
Right.
and like that. So I guess that put me into like this mindset of like that I had to be perfect, and I
Yeah.
had to act a specific way and like look like all the other girls were looking like.
Interesting.
And but at the same time, I feel like I do appreciate it a lot because it taught me a lot of discipline
Mhm.
and teamwork, respect for like hierarchy, and like I had to be like I had to shut down and like just obey, let's say.
Mhm.
So I feel like it did put also some negatives and positive
Yeah,
things.
of course.
But anyway, long story short, I graduated from that school and I went to university and I started teaching. I started learning. I'm sorry, communication and audiovisual languages, which is part of why we're here.
Right.
I've been loving communication and creation, anything that has to do with camera, even newspaper. I've been on radio as well, and all of the communication forms. I've loved it. And then I came here and I started again working in a restaurant and cleaning offices as I started learning English. And then real estate came into my life and I started hustling and grinding. I was
Right.
just like going on and wanting to achieve the American dream, selling houses and then investing in houses. I started buying homes with my ex partner, and we will buy a house and we will fix out the property, divide it into anywhere from 2 to 4 units. So turn one house into 4 units, and then rent each of them one individually. And do it again and do it again and do it again. So we started building like our empire, and I thought that I felt really good at the
Yeah.
beginning doing that. Like I learned a lot. I got to learn amazing people and got to help a lot of people,
Right.
which was the thing that I liked the most.
Yeah.
Is like seeing their smile and like they coming back saying thank you so much. We didn't thought we could never buy a house and then we did it, things like that.
Yeah.
So making their dreams achievable was really, really beautiful. And then through the journey, as things started to go better and better, I was with my ex, and we were having an amazing life. Everything was moving forward pretty good. We were working together and living together, so it was like a very teamwork, let's say, type of relationship. And then there was COVID happened, 2020, and some changes started to happen into our life, and my mindset started to like open up more,
Okay.
and I started to have more questions about self. Who am I? What am I supposed to do? And at that time, 2020 or 2025, 5 years ago, so I was like 22, around 22 years old. And so, of course, it was a change, it was a shift. I started to think more about the inside, and I realized that I had been until that point focusing too much on the outside, on the exterior What is people thinking about me? How do I have to look? How do I have to be? What am I supposed to? How am I supposed to fit in society? And I tend to be more like, for example, I didn't used to like my hair at all. I have very curly hair, and I used to always straighten it and like
Really?
color it and like use a lot of makeup. And I feel like a lot of the things
Hold on.
I was just not really happy with who I was, and I had created this different version, idea, identity of myself that I thought was me,
Right.
was what used to define me, which at that point, interesting that when you introduced me as the Airbnb queen, and right before we started it, I was like, I'm not 1,000% sure about the name.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is actually the persona that not even myself, but the people around me had created around myself. So I really did thought that I was the Airbnb queen, and that all that like kind of like identified me
Right.
was real estate. And I was like, okay, this is starting to get a little boring. It was like about 8 years into the business, and all I was doing now was mostly just investing and flipping homes, and I was losing my passion. I was losing my motivation. I was losing the desire to be alive, pretty much, which is kind of crazy to say those words. And then I just started feeling like there's something that's not clicking in. Something on the inside of me was off, but I didn't understand or didn't know how to find it, right? So I went to Hawaii. I took this trip to Hawaii with
This is after COVID.
This is after COVID, so now I'm talking about 2021. So 2021 September, I bought a one-way flight to Hawaii. And from a very early age, always had this dream about going there and very connected with it. And then once I got there, I did island hopping, and I went to this. First, I went to Oahu, which is the capital actually of Hawaii, and like the most tourist island. So once you got there, it kind of feels like Las Vegas.
Okay.
It's very built up, very touristy. So then I went to Maui, and then in Maui was when I did really feel their culture, the real Hawaiian culture, and their natives. And I've got to feel what it really feels like living there. And what I mean with that is like their way of living, their rituals, their beliefs, their love for nature, their love for their people is very family oriented, very togetherness. Everybody helps out each other. They rise together.
Okay.
And so I went to this mountain. It's called Haleakala. And Haleakala in native Hawaiian translates to house of the sun. And the native Hawaiians, until today, they go up in this mountain, and some of them actually hike it. I drove it, but some people hike it, and then once you get up to the top,
too.
yeah, it's like 2 hours driving.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole day hike type of thing. So once you get to the very, very, very top, it's actually on top of the clouds. So I'm talking like 14,000 feet, something like really high. And then once you get there, it really feels like another world. It's totally a portal. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, you guys should actually, at least once in your lifetime, should make the trip over there. And then once you get there, I felt like I was there. I was going with my partner. He actually became sick of like so strong that you feel the energy in this place.
Interesting.
And he had to go to sleep in the car. It was too much for him. And so he passed out, and he was sleeping there. I continued driving, and then once I got to the top, I was alone, and it was the sunrise. So nobody else was there, and it's like this magnificent sun coming out. It was like, and then I literally had a moment where I was looking at the horizon, and I could see the clouds, and I saw like a movie of my life passing right in front of my eyes. And it was kind of like a teaser, a short clip of all of the best memories that I have of myself from the very beginning. I remember from like maybe 3 years old all the way to that point. It all happened through my eyes in like a minute. And I was seeing it and feeling it, and the feeling was more of like, I feel like something inside of me, close to my heart, like opened up, and something in the sky opened up, and it connected.
Wow.
Literally like that. And I feel like I opened la caja de Pandora. I don't know how to say in English. Pandora's O's, something like that. Like a surprise.
Like a Pandora's box?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that. And so I saw all of it, right? And the message was clear into, it was vision, it was feeling, it was like all the senses. And the message that got to my mind was, this is the reset button. Who you think you are right now, you are not. And you're about to change your whole entire life upside down.
Wow, I literally have chills.
And that's how it felt. I was like, what a hell? And you know what? I actually became really scared. I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know how to take action.
So it was a voice in your head that told you, this is your reset button. Change is happening and you are going to be turned in from the inside out.
Yes. Like either you want it or not, this is going to happen.
Wow.
And I was like scared of the change. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but just if in fact it was going to happen.
Right.
And so I was just like, that just shocked me. It was probably, that so far has been the most impactful time I've had in my whole life.
Wow.
And then, so I went back to the car, drove back down the mountain, go to the hostel. My very first time staying at a hostel, it was amazing. The people that we got to meet through the hostel was spectacular, and that's
I've
how
never
actually
done that.
You should do it.
Yeah.
I was a little scared at first because you know, it's like, I don't know, privacy, and I like to have my space. But through the hostel, there is usually always people that are constantly traveling.
Right.
So what happens is, like, you go to the hostel and then you meet these people that like share with you all these amazing places that like they pretty much turn to be like your advisor.
Yeah.
And that's how you then continue going. Yes. Like backpackers. That's usually how they go. And then you actually meet people at the hostels. And I did this myself, from people that I met at the hostel. Then we travel to other places.
Okay. Together.
And together.
Yeah.
And so because they like, somebody has a connection. And again, so we all like, it's like a red connection. Something like the mushrooms. Like we start connecting with each other.
Like the web.
The web. Yes, the web.
Yeah.
Then I had amazing moments in Hawaii. That time I spent 1 month total, 4 different islands. So Humaui, Big Island, and
What'd your husband say at the time?
Oh my God, he was loving it as well. He was on the side of
what did he say about your experience?
Well,
like, how did he react to that?
I have to remember what he has specific. He's not really like detail oriented like that. So so he will. I don't recall it 100% right now, but I think he will just be more like, okay, like that's cool type of thing.
So he didn't really understand.
No,
got
exactly. No, but then through that same
Which is interesting that he had fallen asleep.
Yes, like it was not meant to be for both of us.
Yeah, like it was your moment. Yeah. Interesting.
And he was the one that had planned to go there, actually. Somebody from the hostel told him about it, and he's like, let's go. And then he didn't make it.
Wow.
It was really weird.
That's crazy.
The synchronicities just needed it to happen that way.
Yeah.
And now I understand, you know, like this is 2021. Now it's over 4 years afterwards. I understand that, like, when we're talking about like feminine and masculine, as feminine women, we are kind of like the incubators. And just like we can create a baby in our belly, not just alone, of course, but like, you know, we're the ones that like actually create that space for it to happen. It's the same thing for transformation. Usually, if it is like when there is already a couple together, usually the transformation will start happening through the woman, because she's the one that's that like incubator that can go through, so that it happens not only for the woman but for the man as well. Because we are connected anyway. Like being a couple, there's like a soul contract that goes even deeper than an actual marriage certificate. Right. And if we go deeper about this, it's like talking deeper about this is like even before we are born into this physical reality. We meet people, even like you and I, we meet each other. I have this belief that we meet each other before coming, and we have like a disagreement into what it is that we're going to help each other live, transition, learn through
Yeah.
this life journey. And some people are meant to stay in our lives forever. Some people are not. Some people is just an instant.
Yeah.
But everybody that crosses path is like specifically there for a reason.
Absolutely.
So I started understanding more of these things after all of these experiences that I was having, because it was making me question myself. One of the questions that impacted me a lot was second time I was in Hawaii. So I already been there like 5 times, coming back and forth, because I really feel like one of my past lives I was from there actually,
Okay.
and I feel very connected to it. And I do feel like every time I keep learning more and more and more. So
Yeah.
there is this one guy, he's a photographer, a friend of mine. His name is Ben Gio. And it was the second time that I was there with my ex as well. And we were looking to do a photo shoot, and it was December. So Ben shows up through an ecstatic dance that we were all attending. So it's like you just meet everybody by like attraction. You
Yeah.
start calling your soul family.
Yeah.
And so he shows up and he looks me deep in the eyes and he asks me, "Are you a human doing or a human being?"
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. He literally opened up my brain like upside down. And with just those words, I realized that all I had been doing unto that point was doing, working, trying, putting all of the responsibility upon me, on my shoulders, to achieve any dream that I ever dreamed of, instead of actually learning how to work with the law of attraction, the energy of manifestation, and creating from the stillness and from the peace instead of the actual doing. And that literally has impacted my life in a way that like it's been changing everything, and also helped me realize. He also mentioned this. He asked me how often did I believe that I was on my masculine energy compared to my feminine one. And with him saying that, it made me realize that I was actually almost becoming into a man. And it's crazy to hear that. The reason why I feel like it was because I had kind of put myself into these, oh, I need to achieve my dreams and I need to do and blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of turning into that like provider energy, or like that doing energy that usually men, masculinity is the one that like provides that energy. And I was putting myself in that role, even though it doesn't really fit me. And that's why I was feeling like something was off, like I was unbalanced, like it was out of track. And then within my relationship, guess what? It was showing up into like creating drama, creating chaos, creating that like pretty much I feel like somehow I was turning into the man, he was turning into the woman.
Interesting.
How crazy.
I have chills.
Literally, it is crazy. And so what started to happen is we started to like, oops, just like that, bump with
Yeah.
each other.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Wow. That's so crazy. I totally resonate with like that story, because I feel like I'm single. I've never been married, no kids, never been engaged, nothing. Like I joke and tell people I'm the real Virgin Mary on the streets.
So
But
cute.
LOL. I feel like now that I've been learning about masculine, feminine energy since I had my awakening, that I'm been in my masculine, just doing, hustling, grinding. Like I can get shit done. I can make shit happen. I can do things and really push my way into things.
Getting
And
the results.
What?
And to getting the results.
Yes.
I can see that.
And I feel like this past year and a half I've been unfolding, but in the past couple of months, I feel like I've really been called by God, the universe, the divine source, whatever. I don't get caught up on the language, where it's all the same thing to me.
Same here.
Yeah, I feel like God's really been having me learn feminine energy and like really stop doing. Like I've been asked in my own life personally to just like stop. And it's a very uncomfortable, except for doing this stuff, like the stuff that I really love. But like when it comes to real estate, I'm burnt out. I have zero passion for it. Like in actually selling, there's like different things in real estate, recruiting, referring leads, like all of that. But when it comes to like me actually doing the real estate, I feel like everything's been just like stripped away. Like I have, is
Totally feel the same.
that your phone? I have no passion, no desire. Like it's just gone.
Wow.
And I feel like God's like, you need to learn to be in your feminine energy.
Yes.
And like this is the time, because there does come a time where you do have to keep going, like especially as you're learning, especially as you are awakening, you do have to really, it is hard.
Oh yeah.
It is
doing the work.
Yeah, doing the work is literally work. And it gets very dark, but then there comes a time where it's like, you have the knowledge, you have the understanding, you could feel now. Like I could actually feel my body because I'm sober now. I quit drinking May of last year. That was like my soul told me to do that. The best thing I ever did. And
I
now what's crazy too is like I realized a couple of weeks ago, the reason why I was so good at real estate was because I was not me. I was drunk, high. Used to be a huge stoner, like wake and bake. And I could never feel that I didn't actually like it because I was numb.
Right.
So I had like told myself I liked it. But then when I had gotten sober, I'm like, I actually don't like this at all. This is not who I am. This is not my purpose.
Wow.
There's something off. And real estate is very masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate is very masculine. So then it was like, the past couple of months, I'm like, okay, no wonder why I have this feeling to stop, and I'm being asked to go into my feminine, and why the real estate's just like disappeared, like zero passion.
It
like,
starts just like fading away.
Yeah, literally. And I'm just like, this is the weirdest thing to me, because it's like, okay, but what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
And it's like, just trust. Okay. But what I can say is that when it's time because you could feel it. And
there is no going back.
Yeah, there's no going back. But it's like, I feel peace. Yeah. Even though I'm like, really probably should be freaking out, because I'm like, what am I going to do? I have this like peace. And I'm like, I don't know what's next, where I'm going, how this is going to work out. I don't really have like this business plan and this blueprint for my life. I just like have a vision. I see it very clearly. And I'm like, I just have to keep doing the things I feel called to do, because I have so much peace internally.
That is beautiful.
And it's like, God is like, you need to learn how to be in your feminine energy and relax and trust. Because I have been a man for my entire life since I got into real estate. Actually, when I moved out when I was 21, was I 20? And I never looked back. And I just always did things. I just always had it. It was always there. It was always working out. I just was like the man. And then I had my awakening, and then everything, like you, flipped.
And it's uncomfortable.
It's so
hell
uncomfortable.
Of uncomfortable at the beginning, and it gets lonely as
Very
well.
lonely.
It gets scary. It gets difficult at the beginning.
Very dark.
It is.
You really have to go through the darkness.
Literally, how they say, like the darkest night of the soul.
Yeah.
It is a reality, and I don't think it's only one night. I think it's a couple of them. And but you know what? I'm not saying this to scare. I'm just making you aware that it is work. It does require to be comfortable during the uncomfortable, to face our own shadows, to face the things that we don't want to accept about our own selves.
Right.
And then still through that, still being able to love ourselves even with those shadows. I feel like that's maybe one of the most difficult parts of going through this, but it's also so beautiful on the other side, because it literally is like a rainbow at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not saying like I'm done, of like I'm enlightened. No, there is like, it's a constantly work. It never ends. Every day I discover
it's a journey
thing.
every day.
Literally, and it's a beautiful journey to continue to go, like ups and downs, kind of like a roller coaster like life.
I
But
used
how
to live
precious
on
it
a road
is.
called Roller Coaster Road.
No way. I love it.
Yeah, and it was a roller coaster. One of my
Oh
exes.
boy. Probably not the best street to live on.
No, it was fun though.
Okay.
We lived a crazy
Nice.
life, but yeah, it was. I had to get out of there. I'll share the story one day, but well, I've actually shared that story, but I'll share it again because now it's like, oh, everything makes sense. And yeah, I think
Life
it's not.
started making
It's
sense.
definitely not to like scare people,
No, no, no.
but
no.
like it's to tell you that like this is what's coming, but keep going.
Yes.
Like even in the darkness, you are finding your true self.
100%.
And it's like when everything gets flipped upside down, it's only being flipped because it has to. It's because you're actually not your true self. And so the universe will bring you a signal that really like shakes everything up and twists you and like turns you around. The thing is, in our society, like that's like what a midlife crisis is. I
Yes.
believe, where people wake up and they're like, what the hell is going on? I hate my life. I don't know what's going on. I feel trapped. And it's because I guarantee you they've had times in their life where they had massive signals, but they didn't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept doing instead of looking inside and being like, something's not right. And I do think that, like how you say, it happens with the women first. Like for me, I've obviously never been married, but like I feel like now that I've gone through this, there's a lot of men in my life that I'm very good friends with. And I talk to them about these things and I bring a different perspective from like the masculine mind intertwining the feminine. But I also have a masculine mind.
And we
So
all
I get
do.
where they're at.
Yes.
But I'm like, but this is the truth. Let me just tell you guys real quick. Like, if you do this, you're going to get there. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, just do it. Like, I'm telling you, as the feminine, if you tune yourself to like this, just eat, you got it.
Just a little bit.
Literally, And so I feel like for like maybe you and I, we had to go down that path where we had that masculine energy and then it had to be flipped because we need to be able to resonate with women
Yes.
that are
and with
have
men
this
as well.
this too, because this is
Yes.
what
Yes.
our society has pushed us towards, to be a man.
Exactly.
And we're like, oh, and then the universe is like,
We
"Flip."
normalize it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. And then it's like the universe, through your spiritual awakening, it gets flipped. And then we as women fall back into who we truly are. We're like, oh, thank God. Like, I knew it didn't have to be this hard.
Exactly. And then we can finally surrender
Right.
and like create from a point where we actually attract instead of being so focused into robotic, into like doing and becoming the man when we don't really have to put that responsibility on our shoulders.
No. And I will say to like any women out there or men, you can let us know in the comments how you feel about this. But I will say that ever since I've really been tuning myself to feminine energy, there are so many men now that respect me so much.
Oh my God, yes.
Never, ever cross a boundary with me, but they will literally do anything for me.
I love that. I love hearing that.
And they're like,
they treat you like the queen that you are.
Exactly. And they are just like, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. If there's anything you need, like,
I'm here.
And it comes from a place of like the divine masculine energy.
Yes.
And it's very beautiful. So like when you go on this journey and you go through your isolation phase where all of your old friends fall away,
Family.
random things start happening and it's like everything in your life is cleared away. God does start to put people back very slowly. And be very conscious about who's being placed into your life and respect those relationships. Don't cross lines. Don't cross the boundaries, because pretty much what's happening is it's like everything has to be taken away to be put back on a good foundation. But you need those guards in your life, especially as women. We need men that we can trust, that like they start to stand in the corners and they protect you and they watch you and they make sure that if you call them, they answer. If you need something, they're
That's
there,
important.
but they're there from love. It's just pure love. It's not like,
Not because they're trying to get you.
yeah, it has zero to do with anything sexual. Like, it's different. Like,
the support, like
they see the feminine in you, and they're like, how can I help you? Like, you're different. And it's a beautiful journey to be on, and to be surrounded by just pure masculine energy that does really value women in femininity.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that, and it's a feeling that I relate as well. And it is a different type of relationships now that are being created
100%.
after we change our mindset and basically open our eyes and open this veil. And I feel like, yes, with men for sure, and as well with women, like feeling this like sisterhood,
Yep.
this like lifting each other up, where there is like no more competition or no more like, oh my God, I have to look this way and be pretty and be whatever. No, we just like embrace each other's beauty as women, and then embrace each other's fortes as men and women, and then we help at each other to actually be able to transcend and transition as a community, which is so
100%.
important.
Yep.
We
And
go together.
I think too, as women, like, when you say no competition, there is no competition. We're all different, and we all shine differently. And like, when you see a bouquet of flowers, you just see this beautiful vision, and everyone is different. They're all individualized though, but they're all together making a beautiful bouquet.
Piece of art.
You know, and like, that is the feminine energy. Like, I feel like that is where the planet is going. We are ushering in this new wave of human beings.
I love the way you explained it with the bouquet of flowers.
Yes.
I like that.
My mom actually runs a like a flower company here, like in Rockledge. And so I don't know, she makes incredible flowers. So the vision just came to me as we were sitting here.
See it.
Yeah.
I have to go visit her and get some flowers.
Yes, you will. She does subscriptions, so you can do them like every 2 weeks or whatever. And yeah, she's amazing.
She's smart.
Yeah, she's the queen of flowers.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, her company's Stemology.
Oh,
so
shout out to Whitney's mom.
Yes, Lisa Ward, love you. And I think that, like, so when you're looking at a bouquet of flowers, it's like, you're the queen of this, you're the queen of that, you're the queen of this, you're the queen of that.
Yes. And then we all create this queendom and kingdom that then like also reflects and unites what we were speaking about a little earlier when you mentioned God, source, intellect, universe, and like we can start also feeling this like warmness of like the spirit, the Holy Spirit, that I want to actually include as well in this conversation, because it's also been a very crucial part for me to understand. It's like my relationship with that wholeness.
Yeah.
With that everything and nothing at the same thing, which is still like amazing. And like I can say that like I'm still learning actually on how to connect with it. It is like it's an ongoing process as well, but I feel like it is so important, and we start like just understanding each other, ourselves more, and each other as human beings, as we understand that connection with our higher self.
100%. I was very connected to like the Holy Spirit. I grew up in a Christian church, and the church I grew up in, they were very like Holy Spirit led. So that was really cool. Awesome. And then I walked away from the church, and I've talked about it, but different reasons. Most of us, I think, a lot of us are walking away.
Seasons in our lives.
Yeah. And just realizing like I have my own connection, and I don't know. Anyway, we can talk about that some other time, but the Holy Spirit has been something that recently has been like kind of coming back into my life too. Nice. So that's crazy that you say that, because it's like I had to heal my relationship with God and the universe, because I was very angry because of the things that had happened to me in the church, and I had walked away. And then when I had my awakening, I really was able to heal my relationship with God. And I feel like now in the past few months, that's when really God is like, you need to learn the feminine energy, because I tried to take over in my 20s, my God, and like making things happen. And now it's like, okay, it flips on the other side. It's like, you know how to be a man. Let's let's learn how to be a woman, like literally. And it's so crazy to even like say that, like it's uncomfortable because I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a woman, but it's like I wasn't though.
Putting like another suit that didn't really fit the soul.
Yeah.
And I totally relate with it as well.
Yeah. And it's just a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful experience to be able to heal things and to be able to like look back and then like full circle come back to it in a different phase, in a different mindset, in a different place.
With like compassion of like hugging on that part, right?
100%.
And then like understanding that like all of these different like phases and like moments were actually so needed to be able to come to this point where we are at the right here, right now, the present moment.
Yeah.
Which is all we have though as well. Like when we think about like past, present, and future, at the end of the day, we all have just this one moment, the present moment. And Joe Dispenza explains it a really good way. Actually, I've been studying him a lot. And like it's a beautiful way of understanding that like the quantum field and all of these like energetic that we're connected to, we are energy. Like
you hear it, Swansea?
And like all we have is this present moment right here and right now, and all we gotta do is just like live the best that we can. And there is one quote that I really like that I like, the kind of live by it. Live a life that you want to remember. So do every single thing that calls your soul, because that's actually what you are here for, and we are all here to experience life. To go through feelings, thoughts, at the same time realizing that we are not those feelings, we are not those thoughts. It's just something that happens through us so we can experience it in this lifetime, but we are more than that. So we also don't have to get stuck in a specific feeling or thought or sensation, even if it's good or bad. We can just feel it, receive it, integrate it, and then let it go and continue and keeping going.
Yes, absolutely. My camera's about to die.
Maybe it's time to close out.
It is. Okay. But I want to say one thing about that before. When the way that I really like to look at like thoughts, and this is, I like to look at pictures. I'm a picture girl. And when you have thoughts, because only like 3% of our thoughts are actually ours. So when you have a thought, you can sit back and observe it and look at the thought and say, is this me? Do I really believe this? Okay. And if it's not, then you can send it back to the quantum field. Then you could choose a thought to like what you do believe. So like, let's say for instance, you have a thought that's like, I'm not worthy. You look at the thought and say, is that true? And do I actually believe that? Well, of course not. You're worthy because God made you. You're worthy. And so what you have to do is send that thought back out and say, no, I do not accept that. And then immediately you have to implant a thought of I am worthy because I am loved, because God created me, because I am only me and I am here for a purpose and a reason. There's something special that my life is meant to accomplish and actually be in this world, in this universe. I matter. I am special to the people around me, my children, my dogs, like me, like whoever. But when you have those thoughts that aren't actually you send them away and then you imprint something of who you actually are. And
I think that's amazing.
Thank you. And I think, I don't know
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. I don't know where, like how that kind of came to me, but like all of these pictures just start coming to my mind. And it's really important that like when it comes to the quantum and, your mindset, it's important to input thoughts of who you are. That's how you rewire. That's how you actually change your mind, is by not just letting the thoughts, take over, but you actually observe your thoughts. You actually think about the things you're thinking. Is it true? Well, no, of course it's not. So then you have to tell yourself, this is who I am. And that's how you, change your mind. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is that's like his whole thing is rewiring your mind. And that's how you do it, is you observe and then you don't accept the thoughts of who you aren't. And that's how you become who you're actually meant to be in this life. And so does that make sense?
Yes.
So yesterday, I want to talk about this with like the feminine, masculine energy. I'm a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland, and a DJ, but this is like the movie Alice in Wonderland. So when it comes to like the masculine, feminine energy, it says the secret, dear Alice, is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. It's then and only then you will be in Wonderland.
Oh,
And this is like
I love that you put it as the
my background. You guys can see that. That's the Mad Hatter and her hugging. And I think that's like a great picture of like masculine, feminine energy as we like talk about that. And this just like showed up yesterday.
I love it.
I
The secret, dear Alice, is to surrender yourself with people who make your heart smile. It's then, only then, will you be in Wonderland. We are in Wonderland now.
You know, we really are. And as the women, it's our responsibility to do that.
Continue
like
that,
only
yes.
surround yourself with things, people, places that make your heart happy.
Yes.
And because of the law of attraction, when you surround yourself with things that make you happy, more happy things will come to you.
Exactly.
But when you live a life of like being around people you don't like, doing shit you don't like, doing things that don't feel good to you, going against everything that feels right, when you do that, you keep getting that. So if you shift it and you change it, you'll lose friends, lose relationships, lose a lot of things. But you know, like, okay, it's fine because it's getting me closer to where I want to be. And I have to make space for the new to come in. You can't have all of this stuff. There's no room for anything new. You have to shed all of it or most of it to allow the new to come in.
Literally like a closet.
Yes.
We can't get more clothes if we don't let go the ones that don't fit anymore.
Yep. 100%. Totally resonate with that. Well, is there anything else you want to share?
Be you. That's it.
I love that. Be you.
And if you guys would like to find me, follow me, you can find me on Instagram as Kelly_Airbnb expert. And you can find me on YouTube as Kelly D. Gomez with the Woman Empowerment Show.
We'll have that all linked in the show notes.
Thank you.
And we'll, have some content out. So make sure you guys comment below. Let us know what you loved and don't. And I know you loved everything. I was going to say, let us know what you loved and don't love, but you guys love it all. So thank you. Let us know what resonated the most with you. Make sure you guys follow us. Tag us when you're listening to this. We would really appreciate it. And I want to give you something.
Oh, no.
So this is my special box. You can't keep the box. This
I wanted the box.
I know. This is my Whitney's World box. I give gifts in this box because most people, I only could find one.
Aww.
If I could find a billion, which one day I will, then I'll get you a box one day. I just gotta find more. But this is my Whitney's World box that I give gifts in, and there's something in here for you.
Da-da-da-dun. Da-da-da-dun. I love the pink. Oh my God.
So,
from The Secret, I love this. Give me a hug. Aww, thank you.
You're
beautiful.
welcome. So this book literally changed my life, and I still do it every day. I'm on month 3. So it's actually a 28-day challenge. So each day, so you'll read about it in the beginning, but each day. Okay, day 5. The magic money. So it gives you prompts. It's like a little short thing. You read about it.
I really like it. It's like positive affirmations mixed with like a declaration.
Yep. And then it gives you steps. So you'll write every day you're going to write things, and then it's going to tell you what to do each day. And it's just quick. It only takes you about 10, 20 minutes in the morning or at night if you want to do that. But this book literally changed my life. This is what has given me my visions. And it's all about gratitude and the law of attraction and really getting your mind on gratitude and changing your mind and just looking at yourself as healthy and being thankful for everything and not dismissing anything, because we are a big believer that everything happens for a reason. And so I wanted to give that to you.
Oh,
let me know how it goes.
I really, really, really appreciate it. I would like to share the first thing that opens up here. Yes. It says, magnificent outcomes. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings. Write why you are grateful. Reread your list. And at the end of each blessing, say thank you. thank you, thank you. And feel as grateful for that blessing as you can.
Yes.
Amen. Ajo salvaje.
Yes.
Thank you, love.
Oh, I can't wait to
so
hear how your
much.
life changes from that book. I'm telling you,
This is
magic.
literally perfect timing for this.
Is it?
It is. It really is. Thank you. I cannot wait for the second episode so we can talk about how the magic has magically impacted my life.
This book is incredible. So if you guys are looking for something to really change your life, it's 28 days. I'm telling you, something will change. Like, I guarantee you, something will change. Something's going to transform in your life. When you are seeking, you find. When you knock, the door shall be opened.
That's true.
And it is just a universal law. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I love this so much.
It too.
I am
Cannot
so
wait
happy.
for the next one.
Yes.
Aloha, guys.
28 days. We'll see you guys.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys very much for being here today. Thank you, Kelly, the Airbnb queen. Let me know in the comments what you are the queen of. And as always,
and the king.
Yes, and let me know what you are the king of. We want to hear from you guys. We love you very much. And as always, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go.
Mwah.